As a renowned Islamic scholar, transformational speaker, teacher, and mentor, Abdulfattah Adeyemi has inspired countless lives with his insightful lectures and compassionate guidance. Connect with a community of like-minded individuals seeking knowledge and achieving greatness.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. All praise is due to Allah who created us in peace. He placed love between hearts and taught us through revelation and reflection. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon the Prophet Muhammad, the perfect example of a spouse and a servant of the Most High, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My name is Abdulfattah Adeyemi. I want to appreciate your joining me today again. May Allah bless you with abundant goodness. Today's topic is how to move on without losing yourself. To move on is not to forget. It's to remember differently. It is to carry the wound, but no longer let it control your steps. It's to reclaim your name from the narrative of someone else, the narrative someone else wrote for you. And moving on isn't always about just walking away. It's not so simple like that. Sometimes it's about walking back to yourself. Life will not stop for heartbreak. Life goes on. Time does not pause for your pain. Yet the soul has its own timing, and Islam understands this. Allah is never in a hurry to heal you, but is never absent while you heal. Today, we want to explore how to move forward after deep emotional hurt, especially after betrayal or loss, without losing your dignity, without losing your identity, and without losing your connection to Almighty Allah. Some wounds don't bleed on the skin, they bleed in the soul. When a relationship ends, it can feel like part of you has been amputated. You walk, but not fully. You smile, but it's forced. You pray, but your heart is elsewhere. Many even ask, how do I move on after heartbreak? But the real question is, how do I move on and still remain whole? Because healing isn't just about forgetting. It's about remembering your worth. It's about rising from the ashes with dignity, not desperation. In Islam, heartbreak is not the end of your story. It is part of your training. It's a storm that reveals the roots of your faith, your self-worth, and your strong spirit. The Prophet ﷺ experienced loss of loved ones, of friends, of acceptance, but he never lost himself. He remained connected to his Lord, and that was the source of his strength. How do we go about this so that we can move on? Firstly, recognize the fracture. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to yourself. You don't have to act like it didn't matter. You don't have to act as if it didn't really happen, or you behave as if, well, you are bulletproof or something like that. You are human. You don't have to hide your pain behind strength. Acknowledging the pain is the first step towards healing it. Like the Quran says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers. Surah Al Imran, chapter 3, verse 139. The strength that Islam calls for is not a denial of pain. It's a redirection of pain. It's like saying, yes, I am hurt, but I will not live in that wound forever. You should also understand that your identity is not what broke you. People may break your heart, but they cannot break your worth. Do not let what hurt you become who you are. You are more than the loss. You are more than the betrayal. You are more than what didn't work. Like the Quran says, Inna akramakum inda la atqakum, inna Allah alimun khabir. The noblest, indeed, the noblest of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Surah Al-Hujurat chapter 49 verse 13. Not the person that has betrayed you and not the betrayal. It is you that Allah is looking at your nobility. Your nobility is not in your relationship status or career wins. It's in your taqwa. It's in your God consciousness and your resilience and your strength and your ability to bounce back. That is what Allah is most interested in when it comes to how conscious are you of Allah. We should also understand that letting go is not losing. Letting go of what harmed you is not a loss, it's a protection. It's hard to release a love you once cherished, yes. But if it chained you to sorrow and disconnected you from Allah, then letting go is an act of iman, it's an act of faith. Allahu Akbar. And anybody who leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it with something better. There's a hadith of the Prophet that says that. So what you gave up in tears, Allah will replace it with something that brings tranquility, that brings sukoon to your heart. Another thing we need to understand here is that we should anchor our healing in worship. That is, you have been hurt before, then you should anchor your healing in worship. Look for healing through acts of ibadah. Your emotions need a place to land, and the safest place is in sujood. Pray. Even if all you say is, Ya Rabb, Ya Allah, help me. Ya Rabbi, Ansurni. Oh Allah, help me. Cry, even if your dua is just your tears falling. Salat, Qur'an, dhikr, tahajjud. These are not just rituals of routine. They are the oxygen for lungs that are gasping for air, that are struggling to breathe again. They are lifelines for the heart that is learning how to beat again. The Quran says, Alladhina amanu tatma'innu qulubuhum bi dhikrillah, Allah bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, your hearts find rest. You see that Surah Al-Ra'd, chapter 13, verse 28. Another very important thing you need to do in order to move on and to heal is to surround yourself with meaningful support. You don't have to do this alone. Healing is not a solitary sport. Find company that reminds you of your light. Listen to words that feed your soul. Avoid spaces that reopen old wounds. Because the Prophet said the souls are like recruited soldiers. Those who recognize one another will come together. You see that in Hadith in Sahih Bukhari. So finally now, you need to rewrite the story with Allah at the center. Rewrite the story. Your past may have been dark, but your future is not written in those shadows. Let Allah be the author of your next chapter. Submit your pain, submit your grief, submit your questions, and allow Allah to write beauty out of your brokenness. Because the Quran says, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. After every adversity comes ease. After every hardship comes ease. And I need you to reflect on this. Moving on is a mercy of Almighty Allah. Moving on doesn't mean rushing into something new. It means making peace with what was. It means giving yourself the permission to feel and then the permission to heal. You don't need to erase the past to reclaim your future. You just need to walk around without dragging the chains of your past. If someone rejected you, it doesn't mean you are unworthy. If a marriage failed, it doesn't mean you are a failure. Your value is not dependent on who left, but on who remains. And Allah never leaves. How do you move on without losing yourself? You are not weak for being wounded. You are not dramatic for grieving. You are not selfish for wanting peace. You are simply human. So if you say, how would I move on? You say it as if it's that simple. I know it's not that simple. You are a human being. Don't forget. And Allah created the human being to break and to return. So what you do is let go of what was never yours. Hold on to Allah who never left. Reconnect with your essence. Rebuild your confidence. Reignite your dreams. But this time around, with Allah at the center. Let your pain refine you, not define you. Let it turn you into someone even stronger, even softer, and even closer to your Rabb, to Allah. Because you are not lost. You are being rerouted. And walk forward slowly and softly, but with your soul intact. Because what lies ahead with Allah is far better than what you have left behind. Allahu Akbar. Allah is sufficient for you. Allah is sufficient for you. Allah is sufficient for you. May Almighty Allah suffice all of us and make our tasks be easy for us. May Allah grant us healing in our hearts, even as we hurt. And may Allah make it be easy for us to actually move on with our lives after what we have lost and after the hurt that we have suffered. Jazakumullahu khairan. I thank you so much for listening, and I do hope that you are not just listening, but you are also experiencing. Join me again for another experience. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Acquire Abdulfattah Adeyemi's soul-lifting handmade masterpieces and experience the divine beauty of Islamic artistry. Book counseling and therapy sessions to access a safe space to heal and thrive. Join the community. Transform your life. Edit your universe.